What up? And welcome to another episode of From the Script to the Screen. And what up? Welcome back to the My Hero edition of From the Script to the Screen. Going over season 6 of My Hero. Episode 15 of the season is out, covering chapter 299, if I'm not mistaken. 297 of volume 31 of the manga. But getting right into it, one thing that I did enjoy about this chapter and this episode is because something that I always enjoy is a good heist. And in this episode, starting off, we see that All for One / Shigaraki was doing his thing, basically pulling off a heist of his own. Like I've been saying, the villains have been getting their way. The villains have been doing their thing. They had nothing to lose in this fight. So All for One basically takes the advantage and doesn't let the heroes have any rest. We know that they caused a lot of destruction anyway, so the villains already have a lot to deal with. So if you think about it, it's smart. All for One is trying to bust out his original body and also trying to cause mayhem as he goes along. As we see, as he breaks through the prison, he tries to release a couple older villains that are also big threats, and he knows that if he lets these guys go, that the heroes will be occupied having to apprehend these guys too. So basically, he's just creating more work for the heroes. One of my favorite panels this week was with Shigaraki. We see my boy Shigaraki / All for One taking full advantage of all his resources. So we see that he's using the Nomu and his wide arsenal of quirks now that basically made this heist easy. And like I said, one thing that I also take notice more now going back and seeing this is that All for One is, in my opinion, master puppeteer. We see that he's been pulling the strings for a long time. And to be honest, since the anime is, I guess, showing more of an emphasis on the I guess you could say the battle between, or the struggle between Shigaraki and All for One, and basically Shigaraki not appreciating his body being used by All for One, but at the same time we know that Shigaraki wouldn't be where he is now if it wasn't for All for One. So it's an interesting toggle, and in my opinion, makes me think All for One could have, even though his grandmother, we know the 7th user of One for All, and Gran Torino thought that they were able to avoid All for One finding out about her family. I honestly think that Shimura didn't succeed, and that All for One knew who this kid was from the beginning, and might have actually been pulling the strings since then. Something we might find out later on, but like I said, just how precious All for One made it seem when he was talking to Shigaraki makes me think that his appreciation for him has been there for a while. We know that he's known him since he was a kid, but with that being said, another one of my favorite panels this week. Well, All for One succeeding in breaking out his body. I just love that panel for the fact that one of my favorite taglines of the show, an old intro that they used to use, you might hear it in the movies, is Deku mentioning how this is the story of how he becomes the greatest hero of all time. So it's cool for me to see the flip and All for One say that this is the story of how he becomes the greatest demon lord of all time. So it was pretty cool, I guess, emphasizing and making more of a stamp on the fact that it's been my villain academia for a long time. So I decided to put the past manga covers up this week. But like I said, cool episode, man. I enjoyed it because like I said, we see that the bad guys are still doing their thing. still creating havoc, still wreaking havoc. And now that we see that some of these older villains that were actually a threat being back outside, it's interesting to see what other heroes are gonna do, because we do see that some of the stronger heroes have been beaten up and are out of commission for a little while. With the episode ending with a panel that I enjoyed seeing. Was the panel with Deku and All Might. At this point, we know that All Might feels somewhat of a responsibility to Deku, being he's the one that passed him one for all, and he didn't expect for Deku to go through such trials and tribulations that he is. We know that Deku actually worked hard to be able to use one for all, but I put that in the sense that he didn't expect him to get just the rushes and the ability to get some of the quirks of the previous users. He didn't know that All For One would still be in the picture. Didn't know that such a threat was going to pop up. So that's what I mean in the sense that he didn't know he was going to put him in such a line of fire. Good thing that Deku has a lot of friends, a lot of other heroes that obviously were present for this battle, but we do see that Deku's up against it, and he has a lot to do, has a lot of things got to happen for them to be able to compete with the villains at this point. So interesting, like I said, to see what happens next week, see what the heroes do. And that's it, man. Appreciate y'all. Let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Peace.